The storage of information is, like, where does that information go in your brain? Sometimes you work with your child and you go, I know I taught that to you and you knew it, and now you can't find it anywhere. So they ask themselves a lot of times, why does my child know something one day and not the next? And why does it take him so long to do something? And why he can't remember things for a test? When you get under stress, you go into your subdominant hemisphere where your information isn't, and then you can't access it. And oftentimes when you're storing things in the wrong place, you have to search and search for it, like in a file cabinet where you've filed something in the wrong place. You have to look through every piece of paper to find it instead of it being right there where it should be. So that's what we're talking about in storage. Now, we believe that the storage of information has a direct effect from dominance. And when we talk about dominance, we say we're starting with the hand. You have a dominant hand and a subdominant hand, and everything should line up on the same side, your eye, ear, and foot on the same side. Or it could be a challenge for that information to be found. Now, one thing I did want to mention, since we have someone that deals with counseling and that kind of thing, every person that I've seen with a bipolar label has been using the wrong hand. And it has been life-changing for them, like they were influenced when they were little to use the wrong hand. And it's been amazing, the functional ability. Just, it's like a switch comes on in their brain and they're able to function. So I did want to mention that. If the child is real mixed dominant, if things aren't lined up on the same side, their emotions often just run on high. It's like right here on their shoulder, and the slightest thing tips it off. They don't have good logic. Sometimes there's letter reversals, extra emotionality more than just puberty and that kind of thing. It can even cause stuttering and stammering because they're looking for that information and not being able to find it. And that test taking is really a challenge because they can't access that information. So poor receiving, processing, storing could influence the learning style even. So if you have a visual struggle, you might be a tactile or auditory learner. If you are have an auditory struggle, your learning style might be visual or tactile. But if you have low auditory and visual, if you have struggles in that area, then you're a tactile learner. And I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but it's the most inefficient channel for bringing in information. And it can look like trying to find a piece of paper in this storage building. So the last step in learning, you receive information, then you process it in your short-term memory, then you store it, and then you're able to use it. If your brain is inefficient, it's kind of the difference between dial-up or DSL, which we've already experienced tonight because that's what I have out here in the country, and high-speed internet. So I like to also often tell the teenagers, especially, that think maybe there's something really wrong with me because I can't do this or that like my friends. You can have the same computer hooked up to dial-up and move it to high-speed internet, and it functions totally different, but it's not any smarter or have any better processing speed on the computer. It's just the connections that are being made that make the difference. So that's kind of what we do in equipping families to have this information, that they can have somebody work with their child at home. Or, we have a center as well in Denton. We're looking at having something in Keller or Southlake, that kind of area as well. And we work on all these different aspects, the sensory integration, the dominance. We help you with academics, brain organization, and bring that short-term memory up so that the child just functions better. So if you have some struggles that you're dealing with at your house, we have free consultations that you can take advantage of to kind of see, what direction you might want to go in. We can guide you in those different areas. So I just want to let me